So guys, I want us to react to a video where George Galloway has been accused of racism. George Galloway has been accused of racism because he stood up and he talked against the injustices that the country of Israel has been making on other countries in the whole earth. And because he stood and made a comment against these activities that are indeed objectively wrong, a student who is a Jewish stood up and called him a racist. I want us to watch this video, and then by the end of the video, I'll give you my critical analysis and why I think this is not anti-Semitism, neither is it racism. Let's dive into this video right away.
I said in a debate that I would not debate with a Pakistani. I would rightly be called a racist. My question for you is, are you a racist?
Why are you applauding that? What kind of people would applaud that? Am I a racist? You've sat through the last hour and a half of me speaking, and you're applauding someone asking me if I'm a racist? What kind of people are you? Or do you just applaud anything? Would you just applaud anything? You made a better job of it than your friend. I'll grant you that. Talking to me in a language I don't understand and then waving an Israeli flag in my face was not, I suspect, the finest moment that he will experience in what I hope is a long life in public affairs. I'll let you in on something you don't know. I'm one of the few people on the left in Britain who traveled the length and breadth of apartheid South Africa as an underground agent of the African National Congress led by Nelson Mandela, then in Pollsmoor prison in Cape Town. Therefore, the subject of apartheid is particularly important to me. The question of racism is particularly important to me. And in parenthesis, let me tell you this, that throughout the entirety of my time underground in South Africa under apartheid, every house I slept in, every dinner I ate, every car I drove in was provided by Jewish activists of the African National Congress. So Jews don't have to be on the side of apartheid. They don't have to be on the side of racism. Jewish heroes amongst my blood brotherhood, like Dennis Goldberg, who served 27 years on Robben Island in Pollsmoor prison, but who never was able to touch Mandela and his comrades because they were on one side of the apartheid prison wall, and he and a few other Jewish heroes of the African National Congress were on the other. Dennis Goldberg, Albie Sachs, Joe Slovo, Ruth First. Perhaps you've heard of these people. If you haven't, look them up. Jews don't have to be on the side of apartheid. They can stand up against it. And I say to those who imagine that they are friends of the state whose flag was just waved in my face, turn away from the racist apartheid ideology of Zionism. Turn back to where Jews were before the emergence and the hegemony of Zionism. The greatest people on the earth were Jews. The leaders of the socialist, communist, trade union, liberal enlightenment throughout the 17th, 18th, 19th centuries were great Jews. Marx himself was a Jew. None of them believed that as Jews They should go and take somebody else's country and drive millions of them around the world as refugees. All of them would have turned their back against such an ideology. But because of my experience in South Africa, which included, by the way, being battered and bloodied by a Scottish South African policeman called Campbell. It's one of the reasons why I hate Alistair Campbell so much. In Gugulethu police station, in the Gugulethu township in Cape Town. Although the policeman had eventually to wash my feet in public, in penitence. But that's another story. Because of my time in South Africa, because of the decades that I worked against apartheid in South Africa, do you imagine that I would turn up at a university and debate apartheid with a supporter from South Africa of the apartheid system? I'd rather punch him in the face than debate with him. Why? Because apartheid is a racist poison. It is the worst kind of fascism. And I would never debate with any supporter of South African apartheid. Why should I debate with a supporter of Israeli apartheid?
So, in the world we are living today, this 21st century, the 20th century, the 19th, the 18th, there is a group of people who are always prioritized over other groups. Yes, a lot of harm has happened to the entire human race in the recent past. In the last 100 years, we've had some horrors happen in Africa. In the last 50 years, let's not go too far, we've had a lot of horrors happen in the whole world, in Africa, the whole world. Africa is part of the whole world, right? So in 1994, we saw the Rwandan genocide. The Rwandan genocide saw millions of Africans in Rwanda killed. They were fighting one another, and it was a fight between the Hutus and the Tutsis. People would not like to have such things happen again. In the Congo, being that Congo was given to the Belgians during the Berlin Conference, we had 10 million Africans killed by Napoleon. By Leopold, not Napoleon, by Leopold II. After that, we saw that many Africans didn't have their hands, didn't have their legs, they were amputated. We saw a lot of suffering for the Africans. Before 1994, when South Africa gained its independence, and when the first black president of South Africa came into position, that is Nelson Mandela, we saw many deaths of African people. Remember the Sharpeville massacre? Remember that? There was a very small thing between students and police officers caused a lot of damage in terms of human life. Also, I want us to go all the way to Auschwitz. Auschwitz in somewhere around Germany, in Austria, somewhere in those areas. We saw that there was a Jewish community that was really done something which is not good. Similar to the Africans. Similar to the sufferings that the Africans were having in Africa, the Jewish had same suffering in Germany in a place called Auschwitz. And if you want to know the clear picture, if you just want to have an idea of this, you should watch the movie Hotel Rwanda to know what happened in Rwanda. You should watch the movie Sarafina to know what happened in South Africa. And I think there's also a movie about DRC Congo and the Belgians. And for the case of the Jewish people and the people of Israel and Germany, you should watch the movie. There is the number of movie. You should watch the movie called Escaping Auschwitz. And I think there's a movie also. It's called Escaping from Sobibor. It's a reenactment of what happened during that time. We saw many people suffer, yes, the Jewish people. But here comes the hypocrisy. The hypocrisy comes in here. You see, the Jewish people say that they are called the chosen ones. By no means they are the chosen ones. It's written in the Bible. But saying that someone is the chosen one might be having different connotation from what we have. I don't want to say connotation. Yeah, let me just say connotation, but not denotation. These two are different. One is metaphorical, another one is literal, sorry. Let me use the word connotation. In a way that the chosen means somebody has been tasked a responsibility to take care of another person. Somebody has been entrusted by a particular set of skill, for example, by a particular set of knowledge to help in governance, you know. That is the meaning of chosen one. Chosen one does not mean that you are above everyone. You are the best above everyone. No. God is a good God, and he says that everything that he had made was good. He made Africans as well, right? Yeah, we are God's children. We are God's creation. So chosen one means we were made, means somebody's been given the responsibility to take care of other people. That's why you are chosen. I'm drawing this conclusion using the logic, God is good and he is good all the time. All the time he is good, and there's no day he'll never be bad. And there's no day his judgment will be wrong. That is where I'm drawing my conclusion, if perhaps you may ask yourself. Now, whatever the hypocrisy is coming when anytime somebody says something against Africans, people never talk. People are always silent. It's like, Africans don't exist. Or if Africans exist, there's nothing they can do. You see, Africans has been taken like a football. You kick it. You kick it. It comes, you kick it. It never rests. You kick it. But now, if somebody talks anything bad against Africans, there's nothing wrong that will happen to that person. Nothing. That person will continue living their life. In fact, he'll have a lot of following. He'll get brand deals. He'll have companies. He'll have people subscribe to his whatever thing he has going on for him or her. Now, what follows is if somebody speaks against Jewish people, now here is where we have the problem. Even if they speak the slightest of wrong thing, the slightest of the wrong things, you'll see how much this person will have losses. You saw what happened with who is this? Kanye West. Kanye West went into losses the moment he uttered anti-Semitic words. Anti-Semitism is the being against Jewish people. Semitism is being Jewish. Now, if you are anti-Semitic, it means you are against Jewish people. Like, you can even say the slightest thing, people might misinterpret it and call you anti-Semitic. And you'll get banished for that. You'll get banished by the whole world for that. These people are so powerful. They are so powerful. Now, my question is in terms of justice. Is other people more important than other people? No, I don't think so. I don't think so. If there are people who have done lots of wrong things, we know who they are as well. We know who they are. Now, if the world is to be a better place, if the UN is to be effective, because the UN is a puppet of the West, if the UN is to be effective, it should really try and adjust on its justice policy. It should adjust on its humanitarian policies. Whatever is wrong about the Jewish people should be wrong on the African people. If somebody speaks bad against the Jewish people and is sentenced, the same person, or if a similar thing happens to a black person, the same punishment should be served. There's no way we will praise somebody who wants to colonize Africa, recolonize Africa. We had Eric Prince the other day. He wanted to recolonize Africa. How? What name can we come with it? Anti-Africanism. Can we come with the words anti-Africanism? Which means somebody who is against Africans. And if you're against Africans, you lose brand deals. Nike does not employ you. Reebok does not employ you. Louis Vuitton, name it all. Name all those rubbish all. Name them. They'll not employ you because you spoke against them. I have another theory as well. The theory is the Jewish people are very, very wealthy. These people are so wealthy. Most of the richest people in this earth have Jewish blood on them, or they are Jewish. Even here in Kenya, we have very big malls belonging to the people of Israel. Yes. I'm telling you the truth. They are very, very rich. They are very rich because God has blessed them. That's true. God has blessed them. And these people are following a certain spiritual path. There's a level of wealth when you want to get into. You need to have a spiritual path. There's richness and then you have wealthy. These people are not rich. These people are wealthy. It started with their father Abraham. It started with their son Isaac, his son Jacob. Jacob was very wealthy. He was even a scientist, I'm told. The only thing I know that Jacob was wealthy. He was very, very wealthy. When he was going to meet his brother Esau, that is when you understand this man was wealthy. This whole concept, this whole story is recorded in the book of Genesis. I'm not just speaking for the sake of speaking. These people have favor. They have favor from God. But having favor from God does not justify you prioritizing yourself over other people. No, it is the work of God to do that, not you yourself. The creation cannot decide for what the creator does. No, it shouldn't happen like that. But they are wealthy, and when people always follow where the money is. You might have all the wisdom, but if you don't have all the money, people will not listen to you. They always follow the money, because money comes with some type of power in it. Now, I was telling you that the Jewish people follow a spiritual path. We only have two spiritual paths. We might come up with so many. We have the dark and the light. The light is following the Most High and His Son Jesus Christ, who died for your sins on the cross. Yes, in as much as they don't believe in the Son of the Most High, they believe in the Father who is Yahweh, the Father who is Jehovah. And the Father says, gold and silver are mine. I'm the one who gives them to you. When He opens the gates of heaven, He rains blessings, as many as possible. He said He will bless the children of Abraham. He said He will bless the children of Jacob. And He's blessing them. So, no matter how much we might see them, these people have a God backing. God has backed them. But the same God is the same God who is with other people, the Gentiles, the non-Jewish people. If justice is to be served, the same thing that is wrong on doing to the Jewish should be wrong on doing to the Africans. Yes. And now Tim Wise is complaining, and people are telling him, oh, you are being a racist by talking bad against the Jewish people. No. Racism is a whole new concept, is a whole different concept. Yes, racism is also rooted in injustice, is rooted in inequality. We don't have inequality in racism. It can never be. If it has equality, it's not racism, it's something else. It's the opposite now. And now, Tim Wise is giving his grounds. The moment he rebukes these people, he's labeled an identity. No, George Galloway, I'm sorry. And now from such conversations, you as an African, you as a human being, whoever is watching this video, remember, justice cuts across cultures. Justice cuts across who you are, no matter how much amount of wealth you have. Justice cuts across, yes. And God is a just God. Just because it is said you are chosen, you are not chosen to override other people. You are chosen to make responsibilities. You have been entrusted with the responsibility of wealth, of power, of money, of the knowledge. Yes. But don't use this knowledge in favor of yourself and hurting other people. That is my opinion. And I draw my opinions from the Holy Text. The same Holy Text that the Jewish people read. Yes. So that's all for today, guys. My message here is justice, justice, justice across all the human cultures. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Kindly subscribe to the channel. I'll see you in the next part where we'll have another deep critical analysis.